Hey, it's Roberta here, and I am starting a new venture that I call Car Conversations. It is really a part of my journey for healing after going through a divorce and all of the things that come along with that. So, for those of you who know me, nice to see you. Those of you who do not know me as of yet, I will take a second, I guess, to introduce myself. My name's Roberta. I am a mom of two amazing little people, and I'm so grateful. I am a corporate executive in my field and have an absolute passion for that work. Just a little bit about me as it relates to my relationship and kind of how I got to this point to having this conversation with you. I was married in 2014 and um, it was fine. I won't say it was awesome, but it was fine. And I went into that relationship with some of my own setbacks, some of my own issues that I did not recognize until later on. Fast forward that in 2022, I was separated from my husband, immediately filed to go to trial, and was legally divorced a year later, August of 2023. And what I will tell you was that after, I don't know, nearly 9 years of marriage, or maybe 8, should I say, since the separation, there are a lot of things that I learned about myself. There is a lot of healing that has been required, and there's a lot more growing yet to do. Um, Here's where I struggled. Here's my struggles that lead to my why. I was so ashamed. I was so ashamed of crap. I'm I'm getting a divorce, and all the nonsense that I encountered that went along with the end of my marriage, and a lot of things I struggled with during my marriage. Nobody knew. No one in my circle had a really good idea. A couple of people might have had an indication. They saw the strain. They saw that something just wasn't healthy in my relationship. But if you had asked someone to name it, I could probably think of only one, maybe two people who could accurately name what I was going through. Most of it I kept to myself because, like I said, I was ashamed. I was ashamed of being judged. I was ashamed that I was too this, too that, too smart, too put together, or how did you let that happen? So then, feeling like blamed as a victim, like, well, you shouldn't have let this happen, or you should have done this better. And I just kept it all to myself. I kept all of those secrets to myself. So then, you go through some shit and you have no one to talk to. You don't know who can empathize with you. And at some point, I will go more into detail about what I experienced and the more detail about that exact story. But how this leads to my why is that I was always looking for a voice, someone's voice that could empathize with me. I wanted to know that I wasn't the only person in this mess of a relationship. I wasn't the only person going through a messy divorce, and that I could truly ask someone and, one, not feel shame, but two, get good advice. And then if you put that on top of all the things, who could encourage me? Someone who's happily married? Someone who is bitterly divorced? Someone who was never married? I don't know. And so I wanted to create that space for someone else. My My mom once asked me, how it got to this point, and I said we didn't really talk about relationships as I was growing up, so I didn't really come to you to ask you about relationships as I was going through tough times. It is my hope that through my sharing of my experiences, you may see yourself in part of my experience and know that you are not alone, that someone else has indeed experienced it and they have come through it. That you will know that I have come through after a nearly 9-year marriage and an just gross divorce for me, right? Everyone's tolerance level, but I just thought it was messy and a little bit unnecessary, especially unnecessarily expensive. We'll talk about that. That you can come through it. That the nights that are so lonely, the nights where you just have silence and you reflect on how the hell did I get here? What happened to my marriage? What happened to my friendship? The nights when you cry because the kids will not let up because there's always something to be done. The nights where you just feel overwhelmed with trying to balance self, children, work, and everything else. And because no one else knows all the things you're balancing and that you may be a doer or you may be a giver, they're like, hey, why don't you take this on? They keep piling and piling. And because you say yes, you keep taking it on. And you get home at night and all you can do is cry. The nights where you're really not sure you're going to make it out of debt. Where you wonder if the checkbook would balance. If something's going to kick back because the mortgage is due and daycare is due and you don't want to be late on a bill. Or you get that call or letter that something has hit your credit report and your score has tanked. I've had all those feelings and so many more. Fear that I was at risk of losing my house, fear that I wouldn't have a place for my children and that I would not be able to get another house given all the things that were happening at that particular time. We all have varying degrees of stresses and traumas and issues. But at the end of the day, this shit sucks and it's hard. It's so hard. As I've talked to cousins, girlfriends, coworkers, people I've met along the way, I am often encouraged when they say, girl, that was me. I had that same issue. And if you can imagine, my surprise. And I was like, girl, I didn't know that. Because we don't talk about it. Because sometimes we just hold that so close because there's shame. And I'm here to extend grace to you. I'm here to let you know that you're not alone. Your thoughts are not crazy. And your tears and your sadness are valid. But I'm also here to tell you that there is joy. That joy does indeed come in the morning. And that God has got it all under control. All of it. 100% under control. And in that, I take so much comfort. In that, I have so much peace. And that's why I'm thriving after my divorce. Not just surviving. That I am truly finding those places of joy for me. I'm finding the support to help me with my children. I'm finding how to navigate my work so that I'm not overwhelmed by it. And I'm grateful and I'm so enthusiastic and I'm so excited to share this journey with you. It is an extremely personal journey. It is one that if you know me, you might go, I didn't know that was happening. And if you don't know me, I pray that it is helpful and beneficial and additive to your life. So why am I doing this in the car? I tend to spend most of my time, if I'm not at work, in the car. I find this is this place where I'm thinking and processing and reflecting and worrying and crying and praising and praying and having all of the emotions of the day. It's a place where I can listen to my podcast, where I can learn new things. It's a place where I can make phone calls and chat with my girlfriends. The car seems to have become my place of solace. And second to my prayer room, God knows, got me through. Second to my prayer room, my car and this space is mine. And I'm inviting you in. I'm inviting you in to hear, listen, reflect, cry, laugh, say, yeah, girl, or hoop and holler, or maybe utter some curse words at whomever is the object of your affliction in this moment. But we're going to have all of the things and all of the emotions. And I encourage you to, comment on something that rings true to you. I encourage you to ask me a question. As I start this journey, it will not be perfect. I was encouraged by a friend who said, just start. Even if you start ugly, just start. And I am starting this journey. I welcome you to come alongside me in this journey. And as I grow, as you grow, I pray God continues to bless your life and the lives of those you hold dear. So let's go, let's chat, let's talk, and welcome inside my car as we start to have more car conversations. I appreciate you. I love you. And I am so grateful to have you here as part of this journey with me. All right, guys, take care. Bye.